Everything is different, everything's the same. And I wanted to open with a short story. Y'all, if you know me, you probably already know my history with Camp Carolina. But that's a camp in Brevard where I attended for many years. And this is the Thompson family. Nath Thompson has an amazing story. He passed away a few years ago. In 1946, got his first job there, and there was a nationwide gas shortage. And he was from Thomaston, Georgia. So he rode his 50-pound single-speed bike to Brevard, North Carolina with 55 cents in his pocket to work at camp. It only took him 5 days. How many miles did he ride a day? About 50, right? Rode about 50 miles a day on a single-speed bike to North Carolina with 55 cents. Now I know in 1946 you could still get a Coke for a nickel and probably a hot dog for a dime. But still, you can just imagine the stories he could tell and the life experiences a man like that had. So he bought the camp later, and now his family still owns it. And their philosophy at Camp Carolina is to have a camp in which boys learn to feel with their hearts, do with their hands, and live together in the spirit of brotherhood. Their boys are taught to appreciate the simplicity of life, values of human relations, wonders of nature, importance of self-reliance, respect for each other and our natural environment, and the thrill of high adventure. A special effort is made to send every boy back home stronger in body, keener in mind, more appreciative of nature, nobler in character, and more confident in themselves. That is a strong philosophy for a month-long summer boys camp for first graders through 11-year-olds. Why am I sharing that with you? Well, my family's relationship with the Thompsons began back in the early 80s. The Thompson family stayed at our home for 10 years in a row where we hosted Camp Carolina night. And I can remember the sound of the slide carousel clicking as Nath Thompson in his campfire voice, described all the high adventures and campers and activities that were going on. But something very interesting happened to me last month. I received an invitation from someone to connect on LinkedIn. This is the first new connection that I've made with Camp Carolina. And do you know the first question the Thompsons ask when people are pulling up to drop their kids off at camp or picking them up from camp, when they hear that someone is from or near Columbus, Georgia? Do you know the Bickerstaffs? Because they spent so many years staying in our home, and obviously I think the world of Camp Carolina. So let's hear what happened. So I get a LinkedIn request from Alex. It says, "Reynolds, I heard your name before, so I looked at your profile when it came up. Alfred," who is Nath Thompson's son, who's running the camp now, "Alfred at Camp Carolina asked me if I knew you when I dropped my son off this year. Glad to hear that camp was so meaningful to you. My son loved it. I look forward to meeting you one day." Okay, that's kind of nice. So I sent him a message back, "Alex, thanks for connecting with me. I have many great memories and developed lifelong friendships at camp. The Thompson family played a major role in my personal development. Thrilled to hear your son loved it. We should grab lunch downtown one day. Looking forward to meeting you." What happened next? "Lunch would be great. Let me know if you're around over the next couple weeks. 24th is pretty much open for me. Also, I'm going to share what you wrote about Camp Carolina, building character with my son, just to reinforce what they are trying to teach him. 10-year-old boys don't always pick up the message right away." That's a guy I want to know. Now, that guy has a lot of things going for him that make him interesting, and he sees value in a lot of things I value too. So, before social media, how would Alex easily connect with me and share his son's experience?
Call you on the phone.
Call me on the phone? Okay, if I'm in the phone book,
Yeah.
right?
Write you a letter.
Write me a letter if he can find my address. Might go to my dad. I'm a junior. Could be awkward. Any other ideas?
Through the camp.
Yeah, great. How would we have normally met? We probably would have met in the hotel parking lot the day before camp started, or in the camp parking lot when you see a tag from your state and you look at the county to see if they're from the same area. And you go over and say, hey, you're from Muskogee County? Hey, I am too. Yeah, I just moved here. You know how those conversations go on. But it would not have been intentional. Now, we might have met through a mutual friend or a networking or social event. But Alex has been living in Columbus for 6 years, and I haven't bumped into him yet. My children aren't his, I have a 5-year-old girl. He has a 10-year-old son. We would not have met at Camp Carolina in the parking lot or at the little dinky hotel down the road where everybody stays. So, but he's someone I'm interested in knowing, and we've got a lot in common. And you need to know that now we have more options than ever before to connect with people. It's actually mind-boggling sometimes and paralyzing because you think about just the responsibility to connect with people. But these are new tools that will get you results faster and more effectively. Do you know how many of these existed 5 years ago?
10.
Very few. Instagram, Google+, Flickr, Pinterest, Yelp, right? Foursquare, there are tons of networking sites out there now. And it's amazing how much this has changed in just the last 5 years. But relationships are still the foundation of any business. And would we still have ever connected if he hadn't gone to Camp Carolina, Alfred asked that question, and he could easily find me on LinkedIn? Probably not. Relationships established, it is so much less expensive to maintain that relationship than it is to go out and develop a new one. I remember when I was the store manager at Canuckin's, and I used to think Charlie Canuckin was a nut because, well, he did at one point have screws in his head because he broke his neck. We had these shoe cards, and I don't know if any of you ever shopped there. If you spent over $100, every $100 you got a $10 shoe card. If it was less than $100, you got a $5. So if you came in and bought 2 pairs of ASIC gel Kayano running shoes, you end up spending about $250 and you got $20 worth of shoe cards. He knew that it was easier to give someone $20 that already came in the store that we helped and to get them to come back than to spend that $20 trying to meet someone he has not met yet and get them to come into the store. He worked really hard on getting repeat business from his customers. If you can leverage your existing relationships, it'll help you develop new ones. And you will find an unlimited supply of new opportunities and new customers if you learn how to do that. So let's talk about that. Reviewing your top 3 techniques, methods, strategies for new relationships. And when we're talking about this, it's what are you doing with people you already know to develop what are new relationships from people you already know? Referrals, okay? So they don't have to be referrals, but most people think in that sense. So, your past client marketing campaign, what's going on there to engage your past clients to send you new business or referrals? Maybe you're really active on social media profiles. Maybe you've started blogging. Maybe you still go to civic clubs, Rotary. Some of these civic clubs meet once a week. Now, I can't meet once a week, but I had a blast at that Rotary luncheon I attended downtown a couple weeks ago. It was a really good group of people, and they really care about being involved and helping one another. So everyone should review their business at least once a year. Some people review their strategies twice a year. Some even look at it quarterly. make sure whatever you do, at least review it once. And look at these strategies, techniques, and methods for where you're generating new relationships. Because I can promise you, some people can only buy so many homes, that you've got to get new business from that database and meet new people. So what we want to do? Spend a week analyzing these activities and identify some new tools that will help you get results faster. What are new tools that help you get results faster and more effectively? What is that called? It's leverage. How long does it take someone to build a house with a handsaw and a hammer? They can still build a great house, right? But do you see anybody on a job site using a handsaw? They're using power tools. They're trying to build the same quality home in less time to get better results faster and more effectively. Now, I know there are exceptions to the rule. There's some people that we don't think they even have nails in the power gun, okay? That's just making a noise. I understand that. But the point is, look at where you're developing relationships and look and see if there are any tools that could help you develop them faster and more effectively. Alex has been here for 6 years. He's an Auburn grad, sending his boy to Camp Carolina. Y'all know me, those are two things that I'm already very passionate about. Whether or not, I have no preconceived conceptions about him doing business with White Oak Realty. I just think he'd be a nice guy to know, and I could use another friend, someone that's interested in things that I'm interested in too. But he's been hanging out here for 6 years and our path has never crossed. So, could I be going to the Auburn football game this weekend with him if I had met him a few years ago? Maybe so. I'll find out soon. But technology is changing so much that you've got to find out what you can use to leverage some of these relationships. Because everything's different, but it is really the same. We're in the relationship business. And we don't get paid for our time, we get paid for our value. And how much value can we bring in a shorter amount of time to the relationship to help our clients? It's different, but it's still the same. Relationships are the foundation of our business. And y'all have got great foundations. We just need to think about how we're building those in today's world so we can build them better and more effectively. So I appreciate y'all making time to be here and hope y'all have a great morning. Thank y'all.